Welcome to another episode of On Deck with Anchor. Today we'll be talking about card payments. I have Tayo here with me. Hi Tayo.
Hi Esther.
Okay, great. So card payment works like magic, literally. You know how you go to the supermarket or the movies or the restaurant and you make payments with your card. Like, can you explain to me how money leaves my account, how it works? Like, explain to me like I'm 5-year-old, literally.
Thanks for that. Right. Well, so there are two different types of card payments, right? There's card present, card not present. Card present is basically I'm paying with my card at supermarket, physically with my card. Right? Card not present is I'm paying on the website and then just the card details. Right? And they follow like I'll call it a 5-step series, right? And it happens interchangeably based on the type of transaction.
Okay, if it's card payment or card present or card not present.
Yes, so if it's card present, right, once you put in your card into the POS terminal, right, the merchant's bank, based on the merchant bank will send a request we send what we call a card authorization request to my bank, right, as a payer. My bank will check if I have enough balance in my account, run the transaction through their own internal controls. For example, what I mean by that is if I use my card, for example, to pay in the US now, my bank would decline it because they don't accept foreign exchange transaction anymore, right? So so they run it through their internal control. Once everything checks out, they send what we call a transaction approval back to the merchant's bank.
Okay.
Right?
And all this happens?
All this happens within seconds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Right? Once the merchant bank gets the transaction approval, they update the POS terminal. Letting you know the transaction has been successful. Right? At the end of the day, the merchant's processor, which is the processor managing the connection for the bank, right, for the merchant, the merchant will batch all the transactions in that particular day and send to the issuing bank, which is my bank.
Okay.
Right? Not asking them to settle those transactions because they have been approved and they've been processed.
So is there like an aggregator for the merchant bank and the acquiring bank?
I won't call them aggregators. They are called PSSP.
Okay. What does that mean?
Payment processors. Right?
Okay.
Payment processor. I'll just call payment processors. Right?
Okay.
They exist at the acquiring side and the issuing side. Acquiring side being the merchant side, the issuing side being
somewhat the bridge.
The card. Yeah. So they are the people. I would say they are the service that allows the banks talk to the card network.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
The card
now
network
understand what you
being
mean.
Your MasterCard, your Visa,
or Verve.
Right. So they process the transaction on behalf of the merchants and the merchant's bank.
Okay.
Right. So once settlement happens, sometimes settlement happens T+1, sometimes settlement happens immediately.
So T+1 is an extra day?
Yes, meaning the transaction will be settled
the next day.
Okay. Even though the amount for that transaction has been locked in my account, immediately the bank sends the transaction approval, meaning I can't utilize that funds anymore. Okay,
so that's when maybe I check my bank account, I can see my ledger balance is different from my...
So you can always see there's that difference, that slight difference between when the transaction has been locked and what is available for you to spend.
Okay.
Right? Okay. But for card not present transaction, the steps is a bit different, right? Whereas in card present, the bank would my bank will update my balance, send me a transaction alert. Card not present is not like that.
Okay.
Right? Card not present takes a while longer, which is at the point of clearing and settlement. The merchant, let's use a ride-hailing provider as an example. Right? You take a trip right now. The provider would put what we call an authorization hold on your account.
Okay.
Meaning
on the amount.
On your account. Okay. Meaning help me lock this amount. Right? Just put a hold on this amount. Right?
But they are not taking it out immediately.
Right, because this person, we don't know how long this will take.
Okay.
Right, we don't know what the final amount would be like.
Oh.
Right. Once the authorization note has been put on the bank and the bank says successfully, the transaction is not processed yet.
Okay.
Right? At the point you complete the trip, the ride-hailing processor will send the authorization request again to the bank that this is the actual transaction amount. There's not sufficient balance, even though we put a hold there. Is this still there? The bank will send a transaction approval back to the merchant's bank, which is the ride-hailing company in this scenario. The settlement happens afterwards, which is At the end of the day, at the end of the week most likely, which is the reason why you get your Uber, I'll use Uber for example, you get your Uber trip transaction days after you've taken the trip, right? Which is why there's always a confusion online where, oh, did I take this trip? I'm just getting
yeah, and
now,
that's when
and
you,
yeah,
I understand what
right?
you mean.
So the clearing and settlement happens days after.
Okay, okay.
Right? So that's how, in a nutshell, that is how card works.
I think that's very interesting and insightful. You know how you go about your day swiping your cards. This is actually what happens in the background. I think thank you for that insight, Tayo. That's it on today's episode of On Deck with Anchor. See you next time. Bye for now.